Towns has 1 to 6 players using resources to build a tiny town. AEG provided this copy of the game in exchange for an honest review. If you're playing solo or with the Town Hall variant, the rules are a bit different. I'm going to focus on the base game. If you want to see how the Town Hall mode works, I'll add a link to my playthrough at the end of this review once it goes live on Saturday. Each player takes a player board, 2 monument cards, draw 1, discard the other, and a pinkish-purple monument. Make piles for the resource cubes. Set out the cottage building card, then shuffle and set out 1 building from each other type as well. The building type is shown in the top right corner. The remaining building and monument cards go back into the box. There are certain building types, homes, religious ones, food sources, and so on, and they work together thematically. Cottages don't score unless the people are fed. Millstones don't score unless they're next to food or religious building. Theaters score victory points, or VP, for each unique building type in its row and column. So what are those cubes all about? Well, those are the resources you'll need to construct that building. Resources? The resources are red bricks, blue glass, gray stone, yellow wheat, and brown wood. 1 will be chosen by a player, and all players place it on their boards in any free space. Let me show you what I mean. Player 1 chooses wood. Player 2 also chooses wood. Player 3 chooses glass. Player 1 chooses wheat. Player 2 chooses wheat. Players 1 and 2 announce that they can build a farm. The 4 cubes used to build the farm are returned to the supply. The farm is placed on 1 of the squares that previously had 1 of the resource cubes used to construct it. Play continues with player 3 announcing the next resource cube. Monuments are unique to each player. You'll want to build this to take advantage of its bonus ability. Once it's constructed, place it face up near your board. Place the monument on your board by following the game rules and resolve the ability if possible. When you run out of space on your board, your game is over, but other players may be able to continue their games. When all players have completed their towns, the game ends. Remove loose resource cubes and score your towns. The VP leader wins. Draft resources, place them carefully, and build the most valuable town. That's Tiny Towns. Tiny Towns boxes 45 minutes, and our 3-player games, including setup and takedown, are around 40 minutes. Even with 4 players or using the Town Hall variant, you should be able to play on weeknights. Player boards, large cards, and piles of components mean this game takes up more space than I expected. I figured it would be similar to King Domino, but instead it's more like Indian Summer. In other words, I'd save this for dining tables unless you're playing solo. There's a fair amount of reading on building and monument cards, and the text is a little small. It's not difficult reading, but younger players or those with poor eyesight might need help during the game. As for math, endgame scoring is simple addition and subtraction. You will need to track points and value while playing, but I'd still guess that the average 8-year-old should be able to handle this. Some of our favorite games have lots of strategy and tough decisions that leave your brain exhausted at the end. Tiny Towns looks a lot simpler than it is. My poor dad has had a tough time so far. The first game he played, my mom had more than twice the points he had, and I nearly 4 times the amount. In our third game, he got off to a great start, but messed up the cottage layout. Mom's resource didn't help at all, but he was still okay. The one I picked messed up the rest of his game. He couldn't do anything. Afterwards, he said that 4 of the 5 resources could have saved his game, but not the one I picked. Want to hear the funniest part? His monument scored an incredible 7 points. Video lasts 8 points due to empty spaces. Tiny Towns has a cute theme and adorable components. I love the buildings. The components have great graphic design, and the colors and shapes are easy to tell apart. The card text is a bit smaller than I'd like though. I noticed that the color shades are different than the usual ones in games, which makes me wonder if they were chosen because of real-world colors to help colorblind people, or both. In Master Builder mode, you have to work with what's chosen by others, not counting special rules from some cards. This is very tricky. One player picks a resource and everyone places it. The next player picks and everyone places. It's a really neat way of doing things and can lead to moments where you're like, no! Or, eh. You can totally hate draft in this game, and it's usually a good strategy. I prefer to play solo than Town Hall mode, where someone's reading cards to me on a computer. I like it, and it's right up there with Herbaceous' solo mode. Then again, it's fun to compare my town to someone. I guess it depends on my mood. Town Hall might be easier for learning because everyone's on the same page. A new player could ask everyone else why they made the choices they made, and it wouldn't necessarily spoil secret strategies. The first player to finish their board won't have anything to do while the others play. Then again, you can start scoring your board or keep an eye on what others are doing. The game is so quick that everyone else will probably be done a few turns after you. The game feels faster with 4 players and definitely more chaotic. That extra person can really mess up your plans. Analysis paralysis, or AP, means you freeze when you need to make decisions. If you're like that, you'll struggle with tiny towns. We discovered tiny towns at Dice Tower West, and it looked cute, but didn't hook me. In talking with AEG about some other games, they walked me through the game, and it started to sound pretty interesting. Honestly, this is a great game. Almost every time I play King Domino, I wish for a quick town builder with more interesting decisions. This is the game I've been looking for.